Well, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in America. Each year, more than 40,000 people take their own lives.
In California, hundreds of lives have been saved because of one man. Kevin Briggs is an Army veteran and former California Highway Patrol officer. He's coming to Omaha to share his story.
Julia Hebenstreit is Executive Director of the Kim Foundation. Good to see you, Julia.
Welcome back.
Thank
yeah,
you
we're
for
going to talk about
having
this
me.
event coming up first, but we want to talk about why, how did the Kim Foundation get started?
Sure, absolutely. We've been around since 2001, kind of quietly before, and have made a stronger appearance in the last 4 to 5 years. Excuse me. And Larry Courtnage, his daughter Kim suffered from mental illness and took her life when she was in her mid-20s. And so at that time he vowed to help families going through the same situation and to give back and focus on this area because it is such an important area, one that's not talked about often enough. And you know, it's really his passion, and the family has really stood behind him in doing this.
So as you say, you help those families. Give us an idea, the services or the programs that are available.
Sure, absolutely. We're not a direct service provider, but we will connect families with services in the community. So we spend a lot of time getting to know those, building relationships with organizations and providers that will accept different situations. You know, not everyone has insurance, or they may have Medicaid or want a sliding scale fee. So we spend a lot of time getting to know those things and just who would be a good fit for families. And then we spend our time doing that, but also building awareness around the topic of mental health and suicide prevention, going out into the community at churches and schools and corporations, doing presentations just to start the conversation for people, because we feel like it is an important one. We have a statewide public awareness campaign with Husker Sports called Don't Be Sidelined. Yeah. And then we have this event every fall too, just to kind of add the educational component as well and build awareness for people. And you know, it's whether it be the mental health piece or suicide prevention, it's a tough one for people to talk about. So if we can start that conversation and just help them realize there is help, they're not alone in it, and just connect them with the help they need.
Yeah, with Suicide Prevention Month, I've seen a lot of people post on social media talking about this topic. Why isn't it discussed as much, do you think?
You know, I think for so long it was just this stigmatized, scary thing that people thought that they were suffering alone in, and that no one would understand where you know, they're coming from or what they're experiencing. And then, but once you're in a room and you get people to start talking about it, it's amazing. They, you know, the rapport they build with each other and just how they come together on that. But you know, our hope is that they will, at some point, will treat mental illness and suicide prevention just as every other medical condition, and that it can be something discussed, just like if you broke your arm or you have heart disease or cancer. You know, 25 years ago, those weren't necessarily things we talk about, but now it's, you know, and rightfully so, but we're almost sympathetic to it. And so how can we get there with mental illness as well?
When we first got into the conversation, we mentioned this fella.
Yeah.
He has such a powerful story to share. Why did you want to bring him to Omaha?
Sure. We always want to bring someone that's going to have a unique perspective on the topic, but also add something for our community that they can learn from. And Kevin is just a very genuine individual. I've had opportunity to meet him and speak with him a couple of times now, and he tells the story from a unique perspective of how he helps the people. You know, he doesn't fix them or fix the situation. He helps them make the choice to live another day. And so his area of coverage was the Golden Gate Bridge while he was on patrol. And so he is said to have saved over more than 200 lives from suicide. And so just on the Golden Gate Bridge alone. And has focused now his retirement on suicide prevention and crisis intervention, and just uses those stories, actual stories from people he saved and families, and uses those throughout his presentation. So we really feel like it's going to be a dynamic presentation that'll really hit home for a lot of people here. And he's just, you know, he's willing to meet with people one-on-one after, and just very genuine and down to earth. And we're excited to have him. So
Kevin Briggs, he's a veteran. He's a former California Highway Patrol officer. Like you said, he covered the Golden Gate Bridge, and that's one of the I don't know, one of those places where a lot of people were looking to end their lives go to, and so he saw a lot of those stories. Do you have any that you could share with us?
Wait,
And
here's
Mary
this
might be pulling up
picture,
one
and
right
this
now.
is what, if you go to a search engine. Sorry,
Oops,
I'm
no,
just
it's good.
making a mess.
Throwing things.
If you go to a search engine and you type Kevin's name in, this will be one of the pictures that you see most often. But it demonstrates sort of what he did on a very regular basis while he was working, making contact with these
What was it
folks.
about him and his stories that connected with a lot of these people that were contemplating suicide?
I think he just approached it very real and just helped, you know, got to know that person as well as he could right in that moment. And he goes into a lot of this in his book, which we'll have available also at the event, but didn't approach it as, you know, come in all high and mighty and I'm going to save the day. He just wanted to help that person realize and make the choice for himself. And I think that's different than a lot of people do approach it. And two, he lived through depression. He has some family issues around depression and suicide ideation as well. And so he can approach it in a very professional manner, but also with a personal perspective.
I want to get to the point about tickets so our viewers can come, but quickly, can I just follow up on this image so our viewers aren't left?
Yes, absolutely.
He writes below it, this picture was in the San Francisco Chronicle and shared around the world. You can see why. I was so happy we were able to help Kevin back over the railing that day. At the time, I had no idea what would come of his life or how much of an impact he would have on mine. So to follow up on the story, so how can our viewers be there to hear Kevin's story on October 13th?
Sure, you can go to our website, thekimfoundation.org, and register online there, or you can call our office. The number's there below or on the screen, and register over the phone with us as well. So it's October 13th at Embassy La Vista, and we still have some seats available, so we're looking forward to a great afternoon and just really excited to have him here.
Yeah, Julia, thanks for coming on this morning.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Meaningful day.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
Guest of the morning.